Welcome to the Sharpe Way Show. So happy to have you with me this evening, right at 7 p.m. on the East Coast. And I was thinking, what should I chat about today? And I wasn't sure where I should go. And some of you, I know you missed me yesterday. I was supposed to be doing something yesterday, but things just got changed around and I didn't do the thing I was supposed to do and didn't have a show. So I apologize for that. It was a last minute thing, but I'm here now. So I guess that's something good, right? I think it is. I think it's something good. So you may disagree, but I think it's a good thing. So I've been watching a lot of chatter and complaints about Trump. A lot of complaints about Trump. People upset, mad. He should be doing this, and him being pissed off too. He's mad at Putin, mad at this guy, mad at that guy. All that's the big beautiful bill. That might collapse. Mad about him. And then I looked at RFK Jr. and I said, who's mad at him? Well, last week people were mad at him, but 2 weeks ago we were mad at him about all that kind of good stuff. Now, not as much. A little bit, but not as much. I thought, let's see who's winning in this, right? If you look at the four groups of people who are kind of battling within a Republican Party, you've got the MAGA people, which is heavily Trump, obviously. That's his group, without question. The MAHA people he's brought aboard, which fight each other here or there. The kind of tech bro-y type people, and the neocons. Now, the tech bro-y people he brought aboard too. The MAHA people he brought aboard too. But the neocons he kind of didn't. He's stuck with them. He's fighting them. And the neocons hate everybody but them, right? They hate everybody. The MAHA people will deal with anybody. The tech bros want what they want. The neocons hate everybody, even other neocons. And the MAGA people are like, we've been here. We were supporting Trump back in the day. Do as we say. That's all happening together. So with that together, which side's winning? Is MAGA winning? Is MAHA winning? Are they competing? I mean, all those are good questions. And what I wanted to start with is his most recent, this was today, his press conference, and how people are talking to and about him on this press conference. I think this is an important thing to look at. This is the press conference he just did and what people are saying and how they're acting with him, right? Again, this is today.
When they say that your criticisms of Putin are simply an emotional response, and do you still believe that Putin actually wants to end the war?
I can't tell you that, but I'll let you know in about 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks, we're going to find out very soon.
See, this is a problem. Now, I know what people are talking about. They're going to say, well, look, Trump is trying to take care of this. Trump's trying to take care of that. Okay, I get it. I told you he was going to be working on foreign policy. I told you that months ago. He's failing. At this moment in time, he's failing. Will he succeed? Maybe. And to be very forward, I hope he succeeds. I would like these wars to end. But if you notice what he's doing, and Trump is transparent in this regard. When he thinks things are going well and he wants a deal, he immediately says nice things. He says, oh, Putin's my buddy, my bestie, my friend. Oh, Netanyahu's awesome and great, tough place to be in, blah, blah, blah. Then all of a sudden, he's not getting what he wants. He's crazy. What's wrong with him? Putin's nuts. All of a sudden, Netanyahu's a crazy man. What's going on? He's blatant. And people say, well, he changed his mind. No, that's who he is. If you're going to give him the deal he wants, he calls you good names. If you don't give him the deal he doesn't want, he calls you bad names. Remember Kim Jong-un was Rocket Man. He was a bad guy. Then he gave him the deal. Oh, okay. I like him. He's my bestie. We're buddies now. That's how he is. I wish it was anything different. It's literally that. This is how you know that things are not going well. Because he's now saying he's frustrated with Netanyahu. He's frustrated with Putin. Things are not going well right now. And the advantage is we see it. That's the advantage. The bad part is it's not going well. John, my friend, thank you for the 99. I appreciate it tremendously. Thank you for the support, guys. And the way you can support it, obviously, is you can do a super chat, as John has done, or you can, if you want to, click the button known as Lima, India, Kilo, Echo. You know where I'm going with this. You're going to enjoy it, so please do so if you would. Also, repost this someplace. Share it someplace. Let people see it. Why are you being so greedy? Don't be so greedy. Let people see this. Greedy one. You can stop that. Let other people see this. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, yes, I'm looking over at Joel on Rumble. He says, our Congress is not working to make America great again or to make America healthy again. Red and blue both bad. And that's the other issue, right? I'm going to keep going on that road. You've hit it. The big, beautiful bill. People are not happy about that. They're not. They're not happy about it. You're right, Joel. Congress not happy about it. They're kind of handling it, but they're not happy about it either. I completely agree. It's a problem. It is absolutely a problem. People are not enjoying it. Let me keep going a little bit longer. You'll see.
We're going to find out whether or not he's tapping us along or not. And if he is, we'll respond a little bit differently, but it'll take about a week and a half, 2 weeks. We have Mr. Witkoff is here, who's doing a phenomenal job.
Now, he is right. Witkoff is a gem. And I know some people don't like him. And if you don't like him, you're not paying attention. He's not perfect. Don't get me wrong. But he is one of Trump's best picks, hands down. One of the best at what he does, right? And clearly one of the best diplomats America's had that I can remember. I mean, it might have been one, but that I can remember, right? He is a very good diplomat.
Is dealing with them very strongly right now. They seem to want to do something, but until the document is signed, I can't tell you. Nobody can. I can say this. That I'm very disappointed at what happened a couple of nights now, where people were killed in the middle of what you would call a negotiation. I'm very disappointed by that. Very, very disappointed. Yeah, please.
So now you notice he's disappointed in Putin. That means things aren't going well. Here's how you know if it's going well. And it's, again, grossly simple. If Trump starts saying, oh, Putin's my buddy, that guy's great, love that guy, he's the best, he says that, things going well. It's that simple.
You've called for an end to the Gaza war, given the growing humanitarian
Now we're talking about the Gaza war now, the next piece.
crisis and the decision of Prime Minister Netanyahu to extend the military operation. Do you have any frustration with his handling of the situation of the war?
No, we're dealing with the whole situation in Gaza. We're getting food to the people of Gaza. It's been a very nasty situation, very nasty fight. October 7th was a very nasty day, the worst that I think I've ever seen. It was a horrible day, and people aren't going to forget that either. So we'll see how that all works out. And Steve,
and he's struggling. He's struggling. I'm just saying, he's struggling. That's it. I don't think the same could be said right now for Bobby Kennedy Jr.
Do you want to say a couple of words about Gaza because you just have some information?
I'm gonna.
Steve Witkoff, do you want to come up for a second?
I'm gonna pop past this and go to the next piece.
You might give them a little bit of information as to what's happening with Gaza. I don't think anybody wants to see the second, but I think we've made a lot of progress, and we'll see. You know, they still have to agree to the final stages of a document, but I think you could be very well surprised what happens there, and it'd be a great thing for them. They could have a great country into the future. Yeah.
Mr. President, Elon Musk in a television interview criticized the one.
Elon Musk is criticizing now.
Big, beautiful bill, saying he was disappointed it didn't cut enough, essentially, that it undercut the Doge efforts. What's your reaction to that?
Well,
now the problem I have with that is Elon's right. He is. Elon is correct. Yes. And Pete's here. He says the big and beautiful national debt. True. True. He goes on to say Washington will always find a way to spend more. Also true. And he asked the question, was Doge a rug pull? I'm not sure if it was a rug pull, because was it just for, maybe it was an attempted rug pull? I'll say maybe it was that. Because Pete, to be forward, Elon got beat up in this. Now, is he in trouble? No, he's going to be fine. No one feels sorry for Elon. But I'm saying he didn't just walk in and everything was great. He walked in, got beat up in a lot of ways, also made some money too. So he's not going to be starving. He'll be fine. He's still going to be the richest or one of the richest guys on the planet. Still, that's not going to change. But he didn't just walk in, get a bunch of money and leave. That would have been a rug pull. Was that the attempt? Maybe. But what happened was he walked in, got beat up on this thing, but then made a bunch of money on the other thing. So I don't know. It might have been an attempted rug pull, but I don't know if it actually was one. I mean, it wasn't one, but it might have been an attempted one. That's what I'll say. The problem we have here is the goal. If you remember when it first came out, Elon Musk said, we're going to cut $2 trillion out. I didn't believe that then. And I said, I would be blown away if he dropped $1 trillion. I said I'd be satisfied if it was $500 billion. Like if he had come up and had $500 billion actually cut, I would have been impressed. Even though he said $2 trillion, I knew that was a fantasy. That was just people talking trash. It was never going to happen, right? But if he actually could have cut $500 billion, I would have been impressed. It looks like he's cut maybe $100 billion, and that's probably stretching it. Maybe. Now, that's what he was going to cut. What did the actual Congress cut? Nothing really. No spending. They cut taxes, but no spending. So how does that work? That's not going to work well. So I get why you would think it's a rug pull. I don't think it was.
Well, reactions, a lot of things. Number one, we have to get a lot of votes. We can't be cutting. We need to get a lot of support, and we have a lot of support. We had to get it through the House. The House was.
Now he has a valid pushback here, which I brought up in the past. He's still fighting neocons and the Republican establishment. And I know a lot of you guys who love MAGA. I have a lot of you watching. I know you're like, yeah, but he's MAGA, America first. You're not wrong. That's what he's trying to do. That's his group. I'm with you on that. He's trying to do that. Good. But neocons don't care. The Republican establishment doesn't care. They're not America first. That's not their thing. Their thing is them first. And it's been that way for decades. So what's the issue? Well, he's got to fight them. And he's saying it. Look, we need a lot of support, blah, blah. The neocons haven't gone away. They don't all of a sudden, the establishment didn't all of a sudden walk away. Now, don't get me wrong. He is the most powerful non-establishment Republican president. I don't know since when. If you count Reagan. If you count Reagan, then Reagan. If you count him. I'm not sure if you count Reagan. But if you do Reagan, since Reagan, if you count him. Otherwise, not even since Ike. But he isn't all of a sudden be all change everything. Not how that works. He still has to fight them. Michael, thank you for being a member, my friend. He says, I guess I shouldn't wait on that Doge check. Yeah, not coming. Would have been great. Not coming at all. Yes.
No Democrats. If it's up to the Democrats, they'll take the 65% increase. If that doesn't get approved, this country is going to have a 65% increase in taxes and lots of other problems, big problems, almost bigger than that. But we'll have a 65% increase as opposed to the largest tax cut in the history of our country.
Now, this is a massive gamble by Trump. It is. Does he find his way to grow his way out, which is what Elon's trying to say? Well, Elon now says, well, we can't really cut, so I guess we'll grow our way out of it. Okay, good. Okay, but wouldn't we want to grow our way out of it via what? Via maybe an energy race? No. Via nuclear power? No. We're going to grow by just tax cuts? I'm going to go back and check how many times that's worked where we got out of debt with tax cuts. Oh, right. Never. Now, can we grow from tax cuts? We can. But are we going to grow our way out of this with tax cuts? Never happened before. So I'm not sure that's what we want to be. I don't think that's going to work. I'm feeling like that's not the right answer.
We will be negotiating that bill, and I'm not happy about certain aspects of it, but I'm thrilled by other aspects of it. That's the way they go. It's very big. It's the big, beautiful bill, but the beautiful is because of all of the things we have. The biggest thing being, I would say, the level of tax cutting that we're going to be doing. We're going to make people really be able to. We'll have the lowest tax rate we've ever had in the history of our country, and tremendous amounts of benefit are going to the middle income people of our country.
Look, I hope he's right. I have seen almost no one say this except him. I hope he's right. I don't see it. I do not see what he's saying. What I see, the way he's doing it, is more wealth gap. Now you might go, Larry, who cares about the wealth gap? No one should care unless you're at the bottom of that. Then you should. And if you then don't want violence, because massive wealth gap eventually equals violence. I would like none of those. That's why I care, but maybe you don't. Oh, Pete has the answer. Thank you, Pete. Pete's got it. Okay, this is my mistake. Pete's got it covered. Larry, we are going to spend our way out of debt. Brilliant. That's the answer. See, Pete got the answer. Trump should have called you, Pete, and just said, hey, do me a favor, solve my problem. And Pete would have solved it. Perfect. Liberty Lady goes, the USA has a spending problem. Checkmate. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Yes. So Phil says Reagan started anti-establishment. He convinced Ron Paul. Well, that's my point. It depends on how you could call him anti-establishment, and there's an argument that he's not. I could see an argument either way. That's my point. If you consider him anti-establishment, he had a lot of power. So Trump would be the most popular or most powerful anti-establishment president since Reagan, if you would classify him as such. If you wouldn't, then I have to go back to probably Ike, who was anti-establishment.
And middle income people of our country. So we're going to see what happens, because the Senate, as you know, is negotiating with us, and they have to then go back to the House. And, it's got a way to go. But I have to say, Speaker Johnson and Thune have done an incredible job. John Thune has done a fantastic, Leader Thune, a fantastic.
Now he's kissing Thune's butt. Why? Thune's a neocon. Thune's establishment. Thune wasn't his guy, but he's got to be good. Why is he being good? Again, Trump wants a deal. He is blatantly transparent. If he's saying Thune's a great guy, good, he wants to deal with him, right? When he's trashing Massey, he knows he can't deal with Massey. So now he's mad at Massey, so he calls Massey names. He says Thune is awesome. Thune is not awesome. Thune is an establishment guy, but he wants a deal. So Thune is awesome. He's a great guy.
Big job, and they're working together with me and others. And I think we have an amazing, if we pull this off, remember, we have 0 Democrat votes because they're bad people. There's something wrong with them.
Bad people.
They'll let people pour into our country. Single biggest problem.
And note what I always tell you. Here's how you know that the Republicans are losing. What do Democrats do when they're in trouble? Dismiss. What do Republicans do when they're in trouble? Distract. See, it's these evil Democrats. Yes.
Problem is we had 21 million people pour into our country.
See, it's because of immigration. That's the issue. It's immigration. Yes, absolutely. Phil said, Brett Weinstein copied your point about charismatic Democrat from the farm team. He said Bill Clinton 3.0, but I was saying it because it's true. And remember, I said this months ago. Yes, for those of you who were listening, I said Bill Clinton 3.0 months ago. That is the answer. The Democratic answer to Trump and MAGA will be some form of Bill. And for those who know what that means, Bill Clinton is the one who was able to pull America away from Reagan. He was a charismatic who really wasn't a Democrat. And he was, but Bill Clinton said the end of big government is over. Bill Clinton did the crime bill and threw cops into, and was a drug warrior. So he wasn't really a traditional liberal or progressive Democrat, but he was a Democrat. He was super charismatic. For those of you who were around an adult in the 90s, you remember, people loved Bill Clinton. They thought he was the coolest guy in the world. Went on Arsenio Hall, did the saxophone thing, really charismatic. And those of you who are a little bit younger, who remember Barack Obama, that is Bill Clinton 2.0. Very charismatic, right? Good speaker, moves a crowd, all those good things. Acts like he's a Democrat, but then when time comes, does nothing Democratic, right? So yeah, same thing. So same idea. Or I should say Democratic. Did everything Democratic. Didn't do anything actually progressive. How about that? I should say it right. Did everything Democratic, just didn't do anything progressive in reality. And nothing's the same thing. This is where this entire idea of abundance comes from. The book that was made by Ezra Klein and the other guy, Abundance. It's about, breaking the bureaucracy, all that kind of good stuff. They're setting up the Bill Clinton 3.0 to go, I'm just following the abundance mindset, and we're going to break bureaucracy. The days of bureaucracy are over. That's going to be his thing, right? That'll be his thing. All right.
Probably higher than that. And they're people that weren't supposed to be here. And many of those people are bad. Murderers,
bad people,
drug dealers,
murderers,
the mentally insane. They were closing mental institutions all over the world, not South America, all over the world. They're coming into our country and we're getting them out.
Meaning nothing. Grace goes on to say, speaking of things you said 3 months ago, off topic, Zuckerberg gave an interview that said college is not worth the dollars and it's not giving young people the skills they need for the workforce. Yes. I've been saying that literally like years now. But yes, people get mad at me. Why do you keep taking a dump on college? Why do you hate college so much? Because this. I've been saying this for years. For years. If you have someone young in your life who is thinking about going to college, if they have a plan, awesome, go. If they have a plan, I'm going to college so I can become an engineer, a teacher, a lawyer, a doctor, whatever. Great. You have a plan. Go to college, execute that plan. Well done. If you don't have a plan, do not go to college. That's simple. There are some exceptions. If they can get into an Ivy League school, the networking there is wonderful. You won't learn anything, but the people you'll meet and the networking you'll get will be amazing. Zuckerberg, all those guys, they all went to Ivy League schools. That's where the wealthy, cool people are if you're in a network. So if you can get to that kind of Ivy League school, or if you can get to an academy, either West Point or Annapolis. If you can get to West Point, Annapolis, or any of the Ivy League schools, go to college. You won't learn anything, but you will have an amazing network that will help you in the future. So Ivy League, academy, a plan, or don't go. Those are your options. Any of those, don't go. So that's the issue. So anyway.
We're having a hard time because some judges aren't making it very easy for us, and it's tough enough. And they approve that. They allowed that to happen to our country. We don't have one Democrat vote. And if I were a Democrat, I'd be voting for this bill and I'd get elected to any position I want as a Democrat. They're crazy.
Not.
They're voting for a 65% tax increase.
This is just stuff he's saying now. So the reason why I showed this is so you'll just see they're beating him up and he's on defensive. He is absolutely on defensive. Now let's swap that out, right? Now let's go with him talking with RFK Jr. This was a couple days ago. Hold on. Let me, this is a couple days ago. And this is actually with the MAHA report. Now, some people don't like the MAHA report. I get it. Some don't like it. But I got to tell you, it's pretty popular in general.
I created the Presidential Commission to Make America Healthy Again. And today the commission officially delivers its first report on childhood health. Here are just some of the alarming findings, and they really are alarming. It's unbelievable, terrible.
Everyone's talking about this concept, what's going on, how you deal with it, that kind of thing, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's what's happening. Absolutely. James says, if I were a Democrat, I would do this conservative thing. Like, what kind of logic is that? Imagine the roles were reversed. Yeah, that's not true, right? Trump is saying that because, again, Trump's on the defensive. Now, does that mean that he's going to lose or fail? No, it doesn't mean that. Does it mean that right now he's in trouble? Yes. Yes, it does. Mike says, Mike's in the house. He says, Congress, not the president, has failed financially. They control the purse strings and refuse much of DOJ's recommendations. Plus, they could push back on any president if they wanted to. Yeah, but that's not an issue, though, Mike. That's cope. He is supposed to be able, he can't, he's supposed to be able to control his Congress, and he can't. That's a failure. That's my point. The neocons, the establishment people in the Republican Party are stopping him, and he can't get Democrats to vote with him at all. They would rather not vote with him. They would rather sink. He's like, this is his logic. This goes back to what James was just saying. They would vote for the bill. Any Democrat who votes with Trump is finished. He's that toxic. James is correct. You vote with Trump, they want to crush Whitmer because she was seen with him during like problems that she needs the president. Yeah. So yeah, he's not making that happen. And he should be able to. Look, he says, Michael's on what I said applies to all presidents and any Congress. Yeah, but Clinton didn't have much of a problem. Clinton got his stuff passed. So did George W. Bush. George W. Bush got his stuff passed. So did Clinton. They ran to Congress. They did it. Trump didn't. That's the failure of the president. That's the failure of the president. President, in the way our system works, the president is supposed to be able to. I'm not saying it every time it has. The president is supposed to be able to control his. He's leader of the party, right? Supposedly. Bill Clinton led the Democratic Party. George W. Bush, particularly after 9/11, ran the party. Mike goes on another one trying to do suspending government. Bill Clinton, what are you talking about? Bill Clinton balanced the budget. Dude, you're coping. Bill Clinton balanced the budget with a Democratic Congress. Dude, no. No, that true. You're coping, brother. You're coping. First guy, Bill Clinton was the first guy to literally balance the budget since when? I don't remember last. I think it balanced the budget. Was it even balanced at all in the 20th century? I don't think it was balanced at all. Was it ever? I mean, maybe. I can't remember it being balanced at all in the entire 20th century, except for Bill Clinton. So, yeah. No. Gray says, Bush had the GOP by the red, white, and blue balls. If I may be so. True. Bush ran his party. So did Clinton. Clinton actually got Democrats to vote with him. And Republicans to vote with him too. So did Bush. They did. Trump can't do that. Trump can't do that. Absolutely. Trump can't do that. So, no. Look. See, Mike Clinton, he recalculated returns from .com. Stop. Come on now. Now you're coping again. Many times presidents have had the advantages of the economy, that things exploded when they wanted to explode. Things got better when they could have got better, and they take advantage of it. Of course they do. Bush took advantage of, I mean, it sounds cool, but he took advantage of 9/11. Of course he did. Of course he did. Trump took advantage of Trump. Clinton took advantage of the internet. Of course. Yes. You coping. It's not true. So Liberty Lady says, I like that MAHA just changed the Jabby advisory. Yes. And I got a piece on that. I'll see if I can find a piece on that too. That piece you brought up is another thing. Yes, I do want to grab that piece too. Not breaking. The Hill did a piece on that, and boy, was the woman on the Democrat side, the left side. She was absolutely falling apart on this one. You are so right. Absolutely. So right. So let me grab this piece if I could. All right. Where can I go here? Sharp fans. 12 says of on Rumble, it does look bad for Democrats when you talk about no taxes on tips or overtime. But as I've told others, you have to look at the whole bill and why bills should have a single issue. But Sharp fan, what they say is, this is the rhetoric. And I tell you, still to this day, generally speaking, Democratic rhetoric is better than Republican rhetoric, generally speaking. The rhetoric, not the policies, the rhetoric. So what they do is they don't talk about no tax on tips. They forget about that. They don't talk about that. It's about throwing people off Medicare and Medicaid. See, that's how they talk about it. So their rhetoric ignores that part of no tax on tips. Their rhetoric says, oh, no, you're throwing grandma and grandpa into the street. So they're pretty good at rhetoric as a general rule. So look, you got Laura's, Mike, you got Laura's on your side. Voss is correct on Clinton. You guys can say what you want, but Clinton got down what he wanted to get done. That's for sure. He got done what he wanted to get done. He got his drug bill. He got all his stuff done. That's what he did. See, Kim's on my side. Clinton was registered as a Republican, but registered as a Democrat, but more Republican. They called him Slick Willie for a reason. So, yep, that's the issue. 100%. That's the issue. Say what you want. He got what he wanted done. And again, I'm going to give George W. Bush, same thing. W got what he wanted done. These guys both got what they wanted done. So, yes. Oh, he didn't get Hillary care. That's because Hillary. Good point. But that's Hillary. That's not him. Yes. Grace goes, Clinton was the worst human being in the world, but he got his way. I didn't say he was good. All I'm saying is he got his way. I didn't say he was a good guy. I said he was slick, and I think Kim is correct. He was slick. That's for sure. All right, let me see if I can grab the other piece there real fast. If I can. Let me keep going down this piece as you see the findings he talks about.
More than 40% of American children now have at least one chronic health condition.
Horrible.
Since the 1970, rates of childhood cancer have soared in many cases by nearly 50%, 50%. Well, in the 1960s, less than 5% of the children were obese. Now over 20% are obese.
Another disease.
A few decades ago, 1 in 1, think of this one. This is to me the one that gets me every time, and it seems to be getting worse. Just a few decades ago, 1 in 10,000 children had autism. Today it's 1 in 31. Last time I heard the number is
Now, I'm going to bring up a couple of things here. Number one, even if you think RFK Jr. is wrong, right? Even if you think RFK Jr. is wrong, and I understand if you do, lots of people do, think it's crazy, whatever. These issues that are being talked about all over the place were nothing compared to, I'm sorry, what we're talking about now, no one was talking about before. This is huge compared to before, right? In reality, RFK Jr. has already won. Even if he got nothing done, he got most stuff done. But even if he didn't, this is what he wanted to do. There are literally tens of millions of Americans now who were looking at this stuff. And you might go, well, Larry, if it was so important, why didn't anyone else? No one else did. Biden didn't care. Trump, his first term, didn't care. Obama didn't care. Bush didn't care. They were talking about these things. They didn't care. They didn't bring any of this stuff up. It was happening during their presidencies too. They didn't bring it up. RFK Jr. was fighting in court when these guys were all president. They didn't care. They said nothing. This is a win. And the reason why Trump is with him is because this is a win for Trump. Trump is struggling. MAGA is struggling. MAHA is not. So Trump is connecting himself to MAHA so he can get some wins. That's a good move for Trump. Well done. I'd be doing the same thing. I'd be like, Bobby Kennedy Jr., all my idea. I'd be doing the same thing. I've been exactly the same thing. This is a smart move for Trump to connect himself to Bobby Kennedy Jr., who's getting wins. Trump is struggling right now. Now, again, if Trump ends these wars over time, it won't matter. He'll be a great president. They will love him. If he actually does it, if he actually ends the wars, and if the tariff stuff works out well, good for him if it happens. But right now, now, does he still have a chance? Of course he does. And here's the reason. For those who don't know, for some reason, consumer confidence is actually going up. So people still trust Trump. And I know you guys who don't like Trump, you're like, that can't be. He's the evilest guy in the world. The orange man is bad. I get it. You've been told that for 10 years now. Yep, I get it. But whether you believe it or not, America's still like, we're going to give this guy a shot. They're still trying to give him a shot. They still are. And I think the advantage is, while most presidents would have never been as open in the negativity and the fighting that he's been doing, Americans actually like that because we don't trust government. So we want the transparency even when it sucks. Even when it sucks, we want the transparency. And Kim brings it up. Kim says we need more open communication, whether it's the form of criticism or not. It's a step in the right direction. You are not alone, Kim. Lots of Americans think that. And we would rather have Trump say how bad he is at Netanyahu publicly, even though it's awkward and not the norm, right? We would rather have that. Rather have that than, oh, it's all good, it's great, and what? Yeah, because we don't believe it. We don't believe it. Garrett showing up. Thank you, my friend. Gifting a Sharpe Way membership. Guys, remember, grab a membership if you can. Remember our rules. If you make $2 million or more per month, you may not take a free membership. If you make less than $2 million, you may. If you make $2 million per month or more, get the membership. It's $49. Don't be cheap. You make $2 million. If you don't make $2 million, take the free membership. It's totally fine. No worries. Either way, be sure to click the like button. I know I bug you. Why? Because I need this to grow. If you have not shared or reposted this, you hate Garrett. Why do you hate Garrett? He's a good guy. Helping us out, gifting memberships, and you hate him. Did you share this yet? You haven't? You hate him. Why? What did he do to you? Look how mean you are. Stop being mean. Share this thing and show Garrett some love by sharing this or reposting this someplace. It's the right thing to do. Please do so. If you haven't followed me yet on Facebook, X, and Rumble, go do that, please. Following me is nice. It makes me feel warm and fuzzy, and I do more of this. So please do that if you can. If you subscribe on Sharpe Way YouTube, please click all notifications. Some of you are saying, I didn't get notified. Make sure you click all notifications. Make sure you're subscribed. You might go, Larry, I did it already. YouTube randomly decides you're a bot and unsubscribes and undoes everything. It's just, I hear it every week. I get someone telling me that. YouTube decides you're a bot just because it's YouTube and unsubscribes you. And so please check that. If you want to become a member, other than that, you can't get this membership, no worries. Become a member. Click that join button, $49 per month. Yep. Helps me out tremendously. Also, super chat me. Your chat goes right to the front. I stop everything for those chats. See that? Or rant me on Rumble. Either one works. I appreciate them completely. But no matter what, you can always click the button. No, as like. All right. Let me see where I got going over here. I'm gonna make sure I'm covering everybody else here. All righty. And my VA lady says over on Rumble, nope, nobody better. Don't hate Garrett. I might go against the NAP if you hate Garrett. See that? Don't do that. Don't do that. Be good. Be good. All right. Let me grab a couple more this year, see what I'm talking about.
1 in 34, right? Now it's 1 in 31. There's something wrong, and we will not stop until we defeat the chronic disease epidemic in America. We're going to get it done. For the first time ever, this report examines some of the root causes that many believe are making our children sicker and our population sicker, I guess.
Yes.
It just doesn't stop with the children. So,
No, he's just saying a lot of the stuff that Bobby Kennedy used to say. And it's fine. I'm not mad at him for it. Smart move. I'd be doing the same thing if I was him. I'd be like, yeah, see, look at what we're doing. And smart move. This is not a bad move at all. Let me see if I can grab this one first. Let me get rid of this. And pop this one up if I can. This is a chunk from, this is from The Hills Rising. And this is Robbie Sauvé, who I don't always agree with. He's a bit too much Republican for me. But in this one, he's running the money.
Remove the COVID-19 shot from the vaccine recommendation schedule for health.
This is literally what that Liberty lady is talking about. Yes. Now, I'm probably going to get now canceled because I'm now going to get demonetized because of that. But just so that's actually happened. It actually happened. And he's
children
proud of
and
it.
pregnant women. Taking to X, Massey posted, quote, "This
Thomas
is a
Massey.
great first step. Millions of children will now be spared the known and unknown side effects of the COVID shots. CDC and FDA have been using your tax dollars to be like."
This is a clear victory for MAHA. There are many of them. Stopping the dyes, changing this. This is a clear and obvious victory for MAHA. MAHA is getting victories. Now, you might go, wow, is he doing that? Well, here's the issue. The reality of it is he is also fighting deep state. Bobby Kennedy Jr. is also fighting deep state. And even with that, he's still getting wins. He's still getting wins. I would argue right now, Bobby's doing better than Trump right now.
Liability-free, science-ignoring, fact-free marketing agents for vaccine manufacturers.
But I want to be clear. If Trump does what he's going to do, what he says he's going to do, a year from now, Trump is going to completely outshine Bobby Kennedy Jr. if he does it, because he'll be doing worldwide stuff. But we'll see.
The Health and Human Services Director made the announcement Tuesday with the NIH Chief Jay Bhattacharya and FDA Commissioner Marty Makary in tow, saying, oh, let's take a look.
Last year, the Biden administration urged healthy children to get yet another COVID shot, despite the lack of any clinical data to support the repeat booster strategy in children.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention normally decides who should get the shots, but it currently has no director. So while critics of the CDC and pharmaceutical industry were very pleased about the news, some of RFK Jr.'s opponents assert that he was breaking a promise he made during his confirmation hearings, that he would not take away someone's vaccine.
Now, that's the issue that bothers me. This is the lie that the Democrats are coming up with. Remember, Democrats hate Trump, obviously, Orange Man bad. They've lost Elon, so they can't say Spaceman bad, right? Elon got beat up and walked away, so they can't say Spaceman bad anymore. So that's a problem. We're not even going to say RFK Jr. bad again. Now, RFK Jr. is hated too. Why? In the Democrats' mind, he's a traitor. Never forget that. He's a traitor, and he must be punished. He used to be one of them. Now he's not. They got to punish him. And so they go, he's taking away vaccines. Utter lie. That is a lie. He's not taking them away. If you want them, you can still get them. I agree with that, by the way. I do not think you should remove them. You should stop making them mandatory. If you want them, enjoy. You do you. You make a decision for your health as you see fit.
Well, I am, as you can probably guess, thrilled by this news. This is great and perfectly consistent with the science, which is that their otherwise healthy children do not need the COVID vaccine. You can get it if you want, but it's not recommended thing. I saw a lot of people screaming about this online saying, oh no, anti-science stuff is taking over. They probably don't know that this is consistent with what many European countries do, Nordic countries.
And that's what people don't understand. Robbie's right on this one. Again, Robbie and I don't always agree, but he's right on this. All the Nordic countries that we talk about how we want to copy them, all the Democrats want to copy Sweden, they want to copy Norway, they want to copy Denmark. They're so happy, they want to copy them all. They don't make their kids get this. Why would they? It makes no sense. You might go, but Larry, it's children. MSNBC and CNN said these words literally. I remember. Both anchors on both of those shows said, it's killing our children. Talking about the bug. It's killing is what they said. Utter lie. Utter lie. Do you know how many kids, healthy kids who do not have 2 or 3 or more comorbidities passed because of the bug in America? 0. Not 1. 0. Not 1. Any kid who passed because of the bug, they had 2 or 3 more comorbidities. They had that. So that was the reason. If you are a healthy child, the number who passed from the bug, 0. Not 1. There is 0 reason, assuming your kid does not have the other issues, that you should at all give your kid that jab. And that's science. But I have to hate RFK Jr. literally, even if it unalives kids. I'm sorry, I'm saying unalived. I'm on YouTube. I got to do baby talk. Even if it unalives kids. Does not matter. My ideology is more important.
Finland, Sweden, and others similarly stopped recommending the COVID vaccine for otherwise healthy young people. They don't need it.
Now, you're going to watch her. This, because you're going to, I saw this and I was like, wow, is RFK Jr. winning? I wish Trump was winning this way or Clinton could win this way. No one can win this way like RFK Jr. wins this way. You'll see.
You can still get it. It's not banned. This actually has to do, the vaccine schedule recommendation thing has to do with what is covered under liability. So if you had an adverse reaction, could you sue the vaccine manufacturer?
Also an
if
issue,
it's on the schedule. This is my understanding. You can't, basically.
You can't.
So this is
government protection. What? Government protects these companies? Yes.
I think even some people on the left should want.
Yep. Kim says it perfectly. Thank you, Kim. RFK is combating the deepest state. True. Big Pharma is the worst of the deepest state. True. This is not RFK's first rodeo. Also true, but still challenging. Kim, it doesn't make it easy, and it means he can't always do it right. He can't always do everything right away, right? He can't do everything right away. This is a win. I'm not mad at this at all. This is a win.
Not that I'm claiming that vaccines are unsafe or something, but in the case of an adverse reaction, they certainly can be unsafe in some circumstances.
Now watch her start
get
dancing.
Get some accountability for the vaccine manufacturer.
Don't be nice to her.
That can only happen if they're not on
nice.
the schedule. And again, this is just for otherwise healthy children, pregnant women, perfectly consistent with the science. So what's the big deal? Why are people
watch her make up some stuff
on social media?
And see her smugness? Remember, Republicans distract, Democrats dismiss.
Kind of like the first conversation that we had, hiring your friends. This is where it goes wrong. RFK Jr. is not a public health expert.
See, he's not a public health expert. Dismiss. They don't know anything else, right? Trump, when he's in trouble, goes, but the Mexicans or whatever. He's not a doctor. That's how they always work. It is common every single time.
He has an opinion about vaccines, which is very skeptical, as we
It's skeptical because why would you listen to that crazy man? Dismissive.
all know when he came in this position. And this is his ideology, not science.
See, it's not science, you people. Why are you listening to him? God, just dismiss him already. Will you just be dismissed?
I like to go off of numbers. So vaccines work. More than 1 million children have developed long COVID. Vaccines.
Okay, long COVID is made up. I'm sorry if it makes you angry. Long COVID is made up. You got something else. Long COVID is made up. That's made up. It's not
protect
real.
From that. The CDC shows that 2 or more doses of this vaccine were 40% effective. So even if 40%.
2 or more was 40% effective. She's like, so. She's going to go to if it saves one child.
That's not a good enough number. Isn't that enough that a lot of kids are being protected? And also, if kids recover quickly and don't need it because they're healthy, passing it to their elderly family members is not a great thing and could create real problems in those older people, which is why we want to vaccinate the kids.
It doesn't stop you from passing it.
I know.
It doesn't stop you from passing it. And she goes, I know. So she literally just lied. Well, then it won't pass it. It doesn't stop you. I know. Then why'd you just say it does? Because you were hoping he wouldn't say anything. That's the reason. You knew you were lying. You just hoping he wouldn't say anything.
Oh, but we want to protect people from getting it, and then they won't pass it along.
You from getting it
I know, but
it doesn't stop you. Because I know, again, she's literally lying. He goes, doesn't stop you from getting it. It doesn't. The stick doesn't stop you from getting it or passing it on. What it does, for those of you who don't know, it does do something. True, it does do something. And that is, if you get it, the odds of you having adverse reactions to it go down. That's true. That is an accurate statement. If you get it, the odds of you having horrible symptoms go down. You still might, and you can still pass it, and you can still get it. That's the reason. If you're the deathly spot for this was if you were over 65 with multiple comorbidities. And if that's where you are, or a loved one is in that spot, I could understand. You could weigh and go, you know what? It makes sense. Get the stick. It makes sense. Get the ouchie. Do it. Because if they get it, they're in that sweet spot where they may be done for. So I get it. Let's roll the dice on it. I could see that. Your life or your loved one's life, you should do what you see fit. It makes sense if you want to. But why would you mandate that? Doesn't make any sense. Or maybe you're even younger, but maybe you're very heavy and you have multiple comorbidities and you're worried if you get it, you need to, okay, look, you do you. No worries. Mandate it. She says, well, so they won't get it. Well, that doesn't stop that. I know. Well, then why'd you say it? Well, then spread it. Doesn't stop spreading it. I know. Then why'd you say it? Because she's lying and hoping he wouldn't call her out.
If you have the vaccine, you're less likely probably to attract
less
COVID.
likely.
You're less likely probably. She just said that. Less. So see, if you get it, you something could get the vax. Just do it. Because RFK is wrong. If he says the sky is blue, it's not. What's 2 + 2? Some of you know where I'm going. 2 + 2 is what the party says it is. That's what 2 + 2 is. It's not 4. 2 + 2 is what the party says it is. If the party says it's 11, it's 11. If the party says it's F, it's F. It's what the party says it is. Math doesn't count. Science doesn't count. The party counts. That's her. That's her. But she'll say, remember, she started with total dismiss and then just started lying. And she still...
Probably. Again, these are not proven. These are not demonstrated scientific facts.
No, these are actual numbers. 40% effective at preventing emergency room visits. So
yes, preventing emergency room visits. That's true. 40%. So if you get it, there's a less chance, 40% in this case, that you're going to go to emergency room. It's an accurate statement. But she didn't say that. She goes, pass it and get it. There's no stats on that. She made those up.
No,
get it.
That's different.
If you
that's
get it,
the exact,
you'll be in ER.
You just did the bait and switch. Yes.
Bingo.
Vaccines do significantly.
I don't have to go any further. You guys get it completely. I wanted to share that because I just enjoyed that tremendously. That was a win, a total win for RFK Jr. Total win for RFK Jr. And one of the times I'm totally on Robbie's side, which I'm not always on Robbie's side, but I am now. Absolutely. So yeah, absolutely. I just think that's, yeah. There we go. All right. Let me head back to one more piece I want to bring up. I showed you that piece. Now this piece I want to bring up. This is from Fox News. If I can pop this out real fast. This is talking about this one is talking about RFK Jr. One more time.
This report is a fresh new approach that really calls for a transformation of our healthcare system from a reactionary system to a proactive system. There are no sacred cows. It talks about 70% of the diet being ultra processed. It talks about
Nobody except some of the doctors that some of us in this show watch, like Eckberg and Dr. Bird, some of those people talking about ultra processed food. Nobody else was. Now we are. This is mainstream. Now, some of you may not like Fox News. I get it. I understand completely. But this is still mainstream news. And mainstream news is now talking about this. What? What? Yes, mainstream news.
Pesticides, microplastics, natural light exposure.
Microplastics, the sun being good for you. The government's been telling us the sun's bad for you for decades, right? Decades. Sun's bad for you. Don't go to the sun. Sun's bad for you. We'll figure out that's wrong. Processed foods, microplastics, everywhere.
In children, sleep quality. Remember, Republican, Democrat, and independent moms showed up in high numbers to vote for President Trump over this very issue.
Yes, and that's MAHA. Now, I know some of you guys love Trump. I know some of you do. I'm just going to be very clear on something. Trump does not get the mandate that he has. Trump does not beat Harris in the popular vote if there's no MAHA. Sorry. He might still win the election. I think he probably still wins the election. But he does not have a mandate. He does not beat Harris in the popular vote without this. This guy is correct. This guy is correct.
That's the new FDA commissioner, Dr. Marty Makary, on the new report from the Make America Healthy Again Commission. RFK Jr. has called the chronic diseases plaguing Americans an epidemic, especially among our children. The report finds likely causes of the crisis include an over-reliance on ultra-processed foods, exposure to food additives and pesticides, a lack of exercise, widespread chronic stress, and a growing dependence on prescriptions and vaccines.
You would have never seen this if it wasn't for Bobby Kennedy Jr. Not in mainstream media. Nope, you wouldn't have seen it. You might go, Larry, do I really care? Yes, because the people who watch this, they vote. They do. If you watch Fox News, if you watch CNN, if you watch MSNBC, you vote. You vote. These people vote. This matters. This matters for this election, the next election, the election after that. This matters. This is a critical piece. It really is a critical piece. All right.
Let's bring in Fox News senior medical analyst, Dr. Mark Siegel. Dr. Siegel, I know you've taken a look at the report. What do you think about it?
I agree with Dr. Makary's statement that you just put up, that it's a reactive healthcare system. Here's how you tie it all.
Reactive healthcare system. I've been talking about this since 2018. How to fix this. It's the break-fix model. For those who know what that means, if any of you are in IT world, the IT world for many years was a break-fix model. What does that mean? That means if your computer breaks, then I get paid by the hour to go fix it. So what is my incentive to be fast? There is none. I should be as slow as possible because I bill you more. What's my incentive to make sure that your stuff doesn't break? None. I want it to break. This way I can keep billing you more. That was called the break-fix model. People hated it. They thought I'm billing all the time. That's our healthcare system. It is, if you're sick, well, I get to bill. Bobby Kennedy Jr. said it. The most profitable, most valuable thing in America is a sick child. That's horrible. I've had a sick child. It's terrible. If you've had one in your life or have one now in your life, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It is terrible that people, lots of them, can make tons of money off a sick kid, but it's true. So what did the IT field do? It changed. It went to, we pay, per computer or per server or per workstation, whatever you're doing, however you deal with that, a monthly fee, right? So whatever, $50 per computer, $100 per server, or whatever. I made those numbers up, whatever those numbers are, right? You pay that monthly fee, and then you get service based upon that monthly fee. So what does that mean? Well, what if you need more service? Doesn't matter. If you need no service, doesn't matter. You pay that. It's a flat fee. I know what I'm paying every month. It's almost like insurance. So now what is my incentive as the IT company? For your stuff to never break. Because if it never breaks, I do no work and you keep paying. So I want to make sure your computers never go down. Because if they never go down, I just got paid for nothing. So my incentive is to make sure that your computers never go down. Second, do I want to be fast when I fix your stuff? Yeah, because I'm not going to need extra cash. I got to pay my techs by the hour. I don't want my techs working on your stuff because I'm paying them. I want them to be fast, knock it out, get his stuff up and running, get her stuff running, and get out of there because I've got to pay you. I'm not getting extra cash. Our healthcare system has to move towards that. I've been talking about this for 10 years.
Together, kids get sick and then they end up on medications that they might not need otherwise if they were healthy to begin with. That's what he means by reactive. It's a sick care system with over 20%, over 1/5 of all kids obese right now. Now, how did they get there, John? They got there by being sedentary, where the majority of teens, for example, have less than an hour per day of activity. Used to be the whole day was activity, right? Sleep disturbance is a huge problem among our teens. Loneliness, anxiety, not eating right. McCary says 70% are eating ultra-processed foods. He's right about that, and the report puts that in there. But what do we mean by ultra-processed foods? We're talking about addiction to sugar, addiction to food coloring and additives.
Where was this 2 years ago? Was that on Fox? Was that on MSNBC? Was that on CNN? No. No. Look, is Trump failing? No, he's not failing. But he made a lot of promises that he has not kept. Some that he has. Don't get me wrong. He's not failing. But if I got to compare the success right now, today, May 28th, today, MAHA versus MAGA, MAHA's killing it. MAHA is killing it compared to MAGA right now. Again, things may change. We don't know. But at this moment in time, Trump is sitting next to Bobby Kennedy Jr. to get some wins right now. Again, I'd be doing it too. But you can tell. He's still calling Bobby great. He's still calling Bobby a great guy. Yep. Absolutely. That's who's winning right now. That's all I'm talking about. I just wanted to bring that up to you guys. That's my whole view in this thing. I do want to grab some of the comments. I appreciate it. Kim, you got to say tonight. I love it. She says they started telling us the sun causes skin cancer when they started pushing cancer-causing sunscreen lotions. True. Which also cause more vitamin D deficiencies. True. A win-win for medical industrial complex. Incentives matter, Kim. When you incentivize them, that's how they act. Andrea says, it's not healthcare, it's sick care. Yes. SharpFan12 over on Rumble says, no incentive to cure disease when you can make a lifetime profit from maintenance drugs. Yes. Absolutely. Yes. But imagine again, if the fee is flat, why would you want to do that stuff? You wouldn't want to. Unless you had to, you wouldn't want to. So, Ray from nowhere, thank you from the $10. I know RFK said sugar is poison, 100%. But I wish HHS would run some studies showing the degree of harm relative to sugar of sugar-free sweeteners. Hashtag Diet Coke. You know, I actually don't know. That's a good point. And I'll go back to what I was saying earlier, Ray. He might do that. It's possible. He's talking about that. He's still fighting the deep state, to Kim's point, the deepest state. He's still fighting the deep state. So it's not like it's an easy thing to do, number one. Number two, he's going to have to pick his battles. He can't do everything off the bat. Neither can Trump. Trump can't fix everything tomorrow. Neither can RFK Jr. Pick your battles. Hopefully pick the right ones. Try to close some of these deals. Get some wins. And all I'm saying is I'm looking at MAHA now and I'm seeing wins. Is it everything I want? No. Is it everything that MAHA wanted? No, it isn't. I think you're right. These are issues too. Yes. But there's no doubt you can see it moving. There's wins. There's more people understanding stuff. And here's the most important piece here. Number one. People last year were asking me, they were saying, Larry, why are you on the RFK Jr. train? You're a libertarian. He's not a libertarian. True. Because he had the best chance to make impact. I thought 5% last year. Those of you who followed me last year know that's what I was thinking. Going to break 5%. He breaks 5%, opens the door for everybody. That's what I thought last year when I first started getting on an RFK train. I thought he'll break 5%, fix for everybody. Everyone's going to get, Greens can get in, Libertarians get it, all because all on his coattails. what I thought. Then when he decided to drop out, I was very disappointed. You guys know that. I didn't. I was not happy he jumped on the Trump train because I was worried. I was worried if Trump loses, he's gone. The whole movement's over. That was my biggest worry. Trump loses, the whole movement's over. That was my worry, my concern. Trump wins. He jumps on board. I was still scared. You remember how I was scared the whole time? I was like, I don't know. Is Trump going to actually back him? Is Trump going to screw him over? What's going to happen? I was unsure. I knew Trump was going to focus on foreign policy. So my worry was then, if Trump focuses on foreign policy domestically, RFK Jr. is going to be on his own and not have any cover from Uncle Don, and the deep state might eat up RFK Jr. That was my concern. But then I started seeing how Trump was like, no, I'm bringing Bobby in. Bobby's on my side. He was giving Bobby some protection. And if you remember, that's when I was like, okay, I'm feeling comfortable now. He's got some protection. So, okay. I always thought Trump was going to give him something because Trump is transactional and he made a deal with Bobby, so he would do the deal. I thought it was going to happen. I wasn't sure if he'd actually help him once that was, once the deal was done, if he just walk away or not. But again, Trump sees what's up and he's like, okay, this guy's giving me some wins. I can jump on a win train. This is working out way better. What's happening now, and for those of you who are Green Party members, those of you who are libertarians like me, you might say, Larry, I'm a Green Party member. I'm a libertarian. Why do I care about RFK Jr. does? He's not a Green Party. He's not libertarian. True. You're right. But the fact that he can actually fight the deep state and make change lets people believe that change can happen. Lets people believe that we can make a move away from the establishment. And the Greens and libertarians fight the establishment. So we do. We've been failing miserably for 50 years. Bobby Kennedy jumped in this game last year and 2 years ago and made impact. I'm not mad at him. I'm not. Now he's opened it up for us. We opened it up for us. Whatever side you're on, whatever third party you're on, Bobby Kennedy opened up for us. He did. So I'm not mad. That's why I'm happy. So just so you're aware, those people who are like, I don't understand, Larry. That's why. Dave, thank you for the 499. I'll have a Big Mac, large fries, and I'll wash it down with a large Diet Coke. Diet Coke always cancels out the Big Mac and large fries. You know what's so funny, Dave? I remember years ago, I had a relative of mine, an older relative of mine, who was trying to lose weight. So she bought diet ice cream. This is like in the 70s or 80s. She bought diet ice cream. I was thin. I forgot what was in it. Whatever sweetener was in it, saccharin or whatever. They put aspartame, whatever was in it. So she said, so I'm not joking. She said, I'm going to have two cups. I was like, what? Yeah, I'm going to have 2 cups of ice cream. Or 2 bowls of ice cream. I said, 2 bowls. And I'm probably like 8. I'm like, that's a lot of ice cream. She said, no, it's diet. So she said she could have double ice cream now because it's diet. So now it's fine. And had no idea why she wasn't losing weight. It was diet ice cream. So I just have double now. It's fine. It's all good now. Now it's fine. I just had, it says diet on it. So I can have double and it's good. So instead of her like maybe eating less in general, she said, well, it's diet. So I have twice as much. And the same thing, right? I'm having a Big Mac, the fries, and let me get a milkshake, and let me get a bunch of ketchup, but Diet Coke, because that erases it. It does. It's true. Yeah. Or here you go. I'll have a salad with that. Oh, see, the salad with 8 pounds of ranch or French dressing, that erases it too. Also, by the way, also the salad also erases, Dave. Many things erase. Salad's one, Diet Coke's the other. True. Absolutely right. Yes. And Phil, there we go. Same with salad. Phil, yes. There we go. Phil got it there. Same with salad. Correct. Yes. So there we go. Phil says, I just got an Act Blue commercial. Well, there we go. Kim says, artificial sweeteners are no better than sugar, especially for diabetics. I actually don't know much about that. I hope that he does. I hope Ray is correct. And he actually does some studies on that. Because what I've heard 1,000 times is, oh, they're bad, but oh no, they're not as bad. Then I've heard like, oh, if it's this one, it's good. If it's that one, it's not good. If it's whatever, xylitol, that's the bad one, but stevia is I made that up. I don't think that's true. But whatever. If it's this one, it's good. If it's that one, if aspartame is bad, but if it's whatever, saccharin, it's good. I don't know these things at all. But to Ray's point, sugar is poison. That's true. The artificial sweeteners, I actually don't know. I don't know. So, yeah. Gene says, on Saturday, I picked up an Uber passenger in a neighborhood where I drive my school bus. I saw one of the fourth grade boys that I drive to and from school. He was outside playing with a couple other kids. I was glad to see some young kids playing outside. Yeah, it's sad that that's a big deal. It is sad. Yes. Jean says, she goes on to say, that's why I support you for governor of New York, even though I live in PA. Once we get one, that opens up for more opportunities for the rest of the country. True. Look, let's be clear. If I run for governor next year and I win the governorship, I'm not joking, it will literally change the entire country. It will literally change the entire country. That's not a joke. RFK Jr. is already changing the country. Already. He has proven what I've been saying for years, and that is independent parties who make an impact, and he was independent and made an impact, change the messaging, change the issues of the parties. They do. It's how it works. You get independents who are focusing on certain things. The other parties simply have to respond to it. Why? Politics is the mob. It's the mafia, right? You enforce your contracts via leverage. Leverage equals one of three things. 1, dollars. 2, votes. 3, eyeballs/press. That's it. Those are your three. Those are your three forms of leverage in politics. RFK Jr. has all three. All three. There's money in MAHA, there's eyeballs in MAHA, and there's votes in MAHA. All three. He has all three of them. Now, if the Libertarian Party, Green Party could get that, we'd have some more leverage. I win the governorship? We do. So, yes. There we go. All righty. Andrea is correct, though. She says, lettuce must be magic, but not as magical as keto. True. Keto is magic. Absolutely. Kim says, my favorite quack, Dr. Stein Ekberg. I like him. Does some videos on artificial sweetness. I may watch a couple because I'm not really. I usually use stevia to sweeten my coffee. I put some in this. I usually use some sweetener, some stevia, because I've heard it's the least bad of them all, but I don't know if that's true. That's what I believe. So it's the only sweetness I have is in my coffee. I put a little bit of stevia in it. So if I'm out and I can't, I usually put the pink one in if I use a little bit of sweetener. So I do that sometimes, but I don't know which one's worse. So Rick says, artificial sweeteners help me lose weight just fine. I have saccharin with my coffee. He uses saccharin. There we go. Someone told me that aspartame's the worst. Again, I don't know this. I'm going to watch Ekberg. I'll look for that one, Kim. I haven't seen my video on it. I trust Ekberg. He's pretty smart. I'm going to go check him out. Mike has bad knees, says stevia is a natural sweetener. I've heard the same thing. That's why I use stevia. I've heard that too. So I will look for that. There we go. All righty. Let's see here. Rick says stevia has a low impact on my taste buds. It's fairly worthless to my taste test. Oh, there we go. Okay. There we go. Kim says, see, Democrats also have sick kids. Those parents don't care what party it is. They just want their kids to be healthy. Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. Yes. I completely agree. So, yeah. Kim says stevia and monk fruit are the best. When my daughter bakes, she bakes with monk fruit. That's how she sweetens her baking. She uses monk fruit sweetener for that. I use stevia in my coffee. So we only use those two. So, and that's kind of what's, maybe she watched it and told me that. Maybe. I'm not sure. So, yeah. Mahima says, I read an article that said RFK Jr., if and when he uses any sweetener, he uses monk fruit. Yeah, you can use the drops if you want to, like monk fruit drops. I use the stevia powder. It's a small, like the scoop is tiny. It's a tiny scoop. You don't need much stevia at all to sweeten it. I mean, it's like, I don't know how, I can't tell you. It's a tiny scoop. It's like nowhere near even a teaspoon. It's like, I don't know, a fifth, a tenth of a teaspoon in a little swoop, boop, and you're good. So, yeah. Mike has bad knees, says Democrats also cut their kids' privates off. They care more about the party than the kids. Not the party. Not the party. They care more about virtue signaling than their kids. And I wish that wasn't true, but it is. And not just for that, for other things. They will give their kid double, triple jab. They will wear 4, 5, 6 masks. They'll mask their kid. I saw it in my school. It's a true story. Why did I homeschool my kids for a couple of years? Here's why. Some of you know this, but this will make a lot of sense for some of you will get it. When my youngest daughter, she was in elementary or junior high school, I think junior high school, elementary school, during the lockdowns. So she would be going to school. They had teachers or administrators outside the school waiting for when she stepped, I'm not joking, for when she stepped on the sidewalk of the school. Now in New York City, the schools are in the blocks and neighborhoods. They're just big, tall buildings, just like every other building in New York City, right? So when she stepped on it, if she didn't have her double mask on, they would yell at her immediately. Put your mask immediately. When she stepped on the sidewalk where the school is, the entire block is a school, you have to immediately. And then people outside pointing, screaming. They would go into the school and they had to be 3 feet apart because that was the magic number for kids, which they made up 6 feet. They also made up 3 feet. That'd be 3 feet apart, mask on, and couldn't talk to each other. Couldn't talk. Yes. Couldn't talk. Along the hallways, no talking, masks on. These are kids, like 11 years old. Like 11. It was elementary school. There we go. Yeah. So yeah, like that. Against the wall. 3 feet apart, can't talk. Then when they go to classroom, they got the things up and they can only put half the kids in. So half the kids sit in the desk, the other half sit in the floor. Masked up, can't talk. They go to lunch. When they go to lunch, they sat them in alphabetical order. Why? So they couldn't sit with their friends, 3 feet apart, couldn't talk. And no recess. I said, my kid's in prison. Literally prisoners. And I said this, by the way, I said this when I was on News Nation. I said, literally prisoners had more freedom. And the guy on there was John Fugelsang. He got mad. He goes, oh, prisoners. I said, yes, I'm not exaggerating. Literally, prisoners got more time outside than my daughter did. And I said, I'm not sending my kid to prison every day. It's not. So I homeschooled them. I'm not sending my kid to prison. Sorry, I'm not doing it. So but to your point, Mike has bad news. Thousands of parents sent their kids to that prison, to virtue signal. Hold on. Is my camera messed up again? I'm sorry. I'm very animated sometimes. Thousands of parents sent their kids to that prison. Why? Because I'm in a virtue signal. Because I care. Double and triple. Double and triple. Double and triple jabs. Double and triple masks. Why? So they could tell people how cool they are. The story I've told before, and it blew my mind again. Blew my mind again. Young woman, probably 20-something, outside in Astoria, Queens, where I live, running. I can see her physical body because she's in like running clothes. Thin, good physical shape, right? Running outside, alone, masked. You're outside. You're alone. You're a 20-something young woman in great physical shape. You're physically running. Masked. I knew she got the stick. Oh, no doubt. Every booster. Guaranteed. Why? Virtue signal. That's what matters. Virtue signal. That's the issue. So Phil says, we got to get Larry on Dark Horse to talk about politics and the chat about it. Please. Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. There we go. So, all righty. Kay John says, artificial sweeteners are lab-created synthetic compounds. I've used stevia since the 90s. I've never found negative research results. Oh, I like that. Maybe I'm doing good. Okay, maybe stevia is good. There we go. Maybe I'm doing good. Kim says, send kids to prisons because money's more important than... Yes. Andrea says, it drives me nuts. My hairdresser still wears a mask. There are still some people who wear masks now in New York. I see it. Some do. Don't get me wrong. In New York, prior to that, the lockdowns, there were some people, usually older Asian people in New York. The Asian community, when you're older, you see some of the older Asians who were ill would wear a mask. It was a common thing. They had learned it from when they were in China or in Hong Kong or Taiwan, and they came over, and many of them, when they get sick, would wear a mask, right? Or when they thought they were personally ill, they thought maybe they were on something, they would take a mask. I get that, right? That makes sense. Again, if you're older and you're afraid, I'm not mad at you for that, right? Or look, I tell the same story often, right? I had 2 people in my life during those times, over 80, both of them, both had pre-existing conditions, both had comorbidities, and they were afraid. So was I, right? They were both over 80, and both of them one had diabetes and something else. The other one was literally on chemo. All right, I get why you're scared. Like, I understand. You got cancer and chemo. The other one's on diabetes and something else she had. I forgot what it was. Some other thing. But yeah, one of them already passed since then, but not because of that. Something else. And the issue is, yes, I get it. You're afraid. No worries. But you're 20-something and you're running outside in great shape by yourself. What are you scared of? What are you scared of? It's crazy. Anyway, I'm gonna be clear. Kim says, if you are sick, it's respectful to wear a mask in public, and that is a group of Asian people in New York. That's their tradition. Yes, the mask is not protected. Wear it only protects others. That was the issue, right? That's what they do. That's the tradition. They would do that often. Now a lot of people do it. To Andrea's point, and they're doing it to virtue signal. But prior to lockdowns, every once in a while you'd be on a subway, or you'd be in a bus, or in a mall, and you see almost always it's a little Asian woman, usually sometimes a male, but almost always a woman. She has got a mask on. Like, okay, yeah, it'd be a thing you'd see once in a while. It was common. Now you see a bunch more of that. So yes, Phil says, I was listening to a history podcast, and they were saying that you can tell when sugar was introduced into Europe in the 1500s is the dental health before and after in skulls. You know, the funny thing is, since I've been on keto, I don't get cavities. It's true. Before keto, I get cavities. Get drill in my tooth, whatever, all that stuff. I had to get replaced because I had the metal ones, and I had to get them to turn to white ones, right? Because, for those of you who are old enough, they used to do the metal ones inside, right? I had metal ones, mercury, whatever the hell they were, right? Had that. They pulled those out and put the white ones in, right? Because I used to get cavities. I don't get cavities anymore. I still brush my teeth. No cavities. So yeah, it's weird. It is weird. Yeah, but it's still true. So anyway, Gene says, artificial sweeteners mess up the microbes in your digestive system. Actually makes diabetes worse. It even cause diabetes. Wow, really? This is according to an article in Scientific American about a study done in Israel. It's weird. See, I try to keep my biome good. I care about my microbiomes. I do that. And I literally have sauerkraut, 2 different types of sauerkraut every day. Trying to make that work. I know it's kind of odd, but it's true. Yes, I eat sauerkraut every day. That is true because it's fermented. So I have fermented food and mustard every day. Those 2 things. So yes. All right, let me see if I can go down to Rumble here. Sharpe Fan 12 says, sugar is part of the process along with many other things like preservatives. Oh, yes. I would like to see cane sugar versus high fructose corn syrup. Yeah. If you're going to pick a sugar, I'd rather have a natural one. I agree. Right? If you're going to have one, right? I don't have any, obviously, but if you're going to, yeah, I do. Sharp Fan says, maybe it's just a myth, but I've always heard that diet soda increases your appetite. I heard that too. Again, don't know if it's true, but I heard the same thing. I remember someone was telling me that's the reason why they put it in fast food, because it helps them to go, you want to eat more fast food. Again, don't know if that's true. Just like Sharp Fan, I heard that. Don't know if it's true. But it's not like that's not believable. You know what I'm saying? So it's believable. It could be wrong. Laura DW over on Instagram says, aspartame is a neurotoxin. Oh my God, it's terrible. Is that true? Oh, it's horrible. I don't think I have. I don't want to have aspartame. I have stevia, so yeah. Wow. I hope that's wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong, Laura. I don't know, but I don't want that to be wrong. So yes. Anyway, so let me keep going down here if I can. All righty. Andrea says, I don't get cavities anymore either. Yeah. Once you stop eating sugar, it changes everything. I completely agree. It changes everything, right? So I don't eat sugar anymore. I did meet one guy who has been on keto longer than me, or non-sugar longer than me, for like 20, 30 years. He's an RFK supporter guy I would raise money with. So yeah, his name is Jeff. And he's been on longer. He's the only guy I've met who's actually been on longer than me. I've heard of people who've been on longer than me, but I've never met anybody who's actually been on it longer than me. He's the only guy. And I met him last year. I'm like, damn, okay. You got me. Usually when I go, how long you been on? Now it's been 15 years. Usually I'm the champ, usually. Not this case. I'm not champ anymore. There we go. Wade says the immune system can kick some serious ass if you're allowed to do its job. Agreed. Yes. AG6478 says this episode definitely reinstalled the idea of Kennedy's with the People Party. You know, there is something you're seeing here, right? I think you are seeing as Kennedy has successes, it does increase his ability to be able to be impactful in the future. Whether that's as another campaign for president, a campaign for a governorship, a campaign to go into Congress, to be attorney general, whatever, right? To stay as HHS, regardless of who wins next. I think all of those things, it does increase the odds of that happening. And also the idea of the We the People Party. If Kennedy does well, which he is doing well right now tremendously, if he starts doing that right now, I think other people who want to run under his banner, you're right. The problem he's going to have, AG, to be clear, is he still relies right now upon Republican largesse. And if he relies upon Republican largesse right now, he's not going to be able to really back many independent candidates unless that candidate is basically running against a Democrat, right? It would have to be like he backs the independent against someone like in New York City, right? Jim Walden's running here in New York City for mayor as independent. He's a MAHA guy. He was on the Kennedy campaign. Like maybe Kennedy would back him because the Republican here, Curtis Sliwa. Well, I know Curtis. I like Sliwa. It's 6-1 Democrat Republican. Sliwa has no chance of victory, right? Not because I don't like Curtis. I do like Curtis, but there's no way he can win this thing. The numbers are against him. So could someone like Kennedy back him, like back Jim Walden? Maybe. I could see that perhaps. But if there's any chance that a Republican could win and he backs an independent or We the People Party guy or gal, right? He's already fighting the establishment, as Kim has brought up clearly. Do we want him to fight even more? Right? You want him to fight even more? You might be asking too much at that point. So yes, but in specific places, right? At specific times, in specific instances. Now, could that motivate people to run even knowing that RFK Jr. is not in a spot to actually endorse them? Yes. I think that's also true. That might motivate other people to do so. So yeah, there we go. So I agree with you on that part too. That could happen too. Yes. All righty. So if I can go down here. Kim's with you. This is 100%. There we go. Peace Logic. You are in the house. Thank you, my friend. Paula asks, do you think RFK Jr. could win an office in New York? No. Not now. Maybe if he's more successful in the next couple of years, but not now. And why do I say that? Because again, New York is heavily Democratic. And right now, still establishment Democratic. So there's still Democratic and established Democratic. And he is a traitor in their eyes. If he tried to run for something in New York State right now, the entire Democratic Party establishment would go out of their way to devastate him. They would throw every dollar, everything at him. They would literally bribe and or scream and or threaten every single newspaper, every single TV station, radio station to not cover him. I'm not making that up. They would say, if you run one RFK Jr. ad, we're not going to buy anything from you ever. They would just say that. And there's so much money thrown into this. Remember, in New York State, we have matching funds. What does that mean? If you run in New York City and you raise, I forgot how much money it is. It's a certain amount. Once you do that, New York City gives you 8-1. Yes, I said that, 8-1. So you raise $1,000, it's $8,000. You raise $10,000, it's $80,000. You raise $100,000, it's $800,000. Now, what's the rule on that? You have to, I'm not joking, this is the rule in New York City. You have to allocate spending it. It is a grift for the political class and the media companies. That's what it is. It's a taxpayer dollars doing that. New York State isn't as bad. New York State, it's only 6-1. So you raise $500,000, New York State taxpayers give you $3 million. That's how that works. So all that money goes to like media companies and consultants, that kind of thing. So you tell them, you run one RFK, you get none of that $3 million. You talk to him, you get none of that $3 million. They would actually do that. They do it all the time. They would do it. So I think at this moment, no. But at one point he could. If he keeps doing it, he can. Because again, the point that's been brought up earlier is at one point, people's kids are helped, right? People's kids are helped. So yes. Phil says, what do you think about Elise and her push poll saying she's close to Kathy Hochul? She's nowhere near close to Kathy Hochul. That's not true. No, not true. She's at least 15 points out. At least. Yeah, there's no way. I didn't even see the poll. It doesn't matter. It's not a thing. She's 15 points out. Because a lot of people are saying they don't want Kathy Hochul. People are saying that. That's true. But if there isn't anybody else there, they're going to go have Kathy Hochul. That's the issue. So they'll be like, 45% Kathy Hochul. What I'm making the number up, right? And 46% or whatever. 45%, 46% Kathy Hochul and whatever, 44% Elise and 10% undecided. Those undecideds break 8-1 like Kathy Hochul if there's no one else on the ballot, and then go out of the way to make them on the ballot. So that's why that doesn't matter. She has a lot of work to do. Can she do it? I'm not saying she can't do it. She has a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. That's the number one piece. At this moment, she has no chance. It's nice that she feels good. I'm glad she's happy. Good for her. She runs good. I don't see her. I can't see it right now. Again, I know this very well. I've called all the last elections. I don't see it right now. So yes. All right. Laura says, I believe that, I think she means HHS, is Bobby's passion. I'd be very surprised if he ever steps out of this area of the fight. Laura goes on to say, RFK Jr. is so passionate about cleaning up our health, and I believe that he will systematically continue to crack the old powers that were. Agreed on the second part, that I think he'll keep going. You see he is going. You are having successes. It is working. The issue here, Laura, is if he believes that a Democrat is going to win the next election, he may bail. Because the Democrats not going to keep him. No matter what. Again, no matter what. If a Republican wins, they might keep him. Right? They might keep him. No way. The Democrat establishment, remember, RFK Jr. in their eyes is a traitor. He must be punished. There is no way that a Democrat's going to keep him. Unless the Democrat's a complete rebel Democrat, which the Democratic Party doesn't do that. They're still establishment, right? If the Democratic Party were to change tremendously and have some kind of rebel, I don't know, a Bernie Sanders type, not Bernie because he's done for, but something like that. If that kind of Democrat won, maybe, but he would know that. You would see that coming a mile away. If the Democratic Party were to change that way, again, I don't see that, but if it were, we could see that a mile away, then he might stay. I'd be with you. He might go, oh, this person, they're going to win. All right, I could stay. But if it's any kind of established Democrat, he's gone. So he would have to move off or have nothing. I hope that makes sense. I think that's what's going to happen. Kim's excited. Yes, RFK all the way. There we go. RFK all the way. So a lot of you you guys are anti-aspartame. Dave said it had a problem. Gene says a problem. Aspartame caused the blood vessels in my brain to constrict and gave me stroke-like symptoms. I actually drank some lemonade that contained aspartame. I got a migraine. Yes. It's funny. Dave said that got him. I'm sorry. Rick said it. That got him migraines too. My mother-in-law was with me when my father-in-law entered the room. I asked my mother-in-law who the man was. I scared my husband's family. That was the last time I tried anything with artificial sweeteners. Yeah. Rick said the same thing. He said it introduced him to migraines too. So yeah, I that's the thing. It is definitely an issue. Some of these sweeteners for some people are a problem. Rick said the same thing. Aspartame introduced me to migraines. Yeah, people have the problems. I see it all the time. So yes. IC says, good evening, Larry and chat. Catching up on 2x speed. I'm sorry. So, all right. Peace, lads. Thank you for the $1 over on Rumble. In answer to the question, Trump or RFK, award goes to RFK. But is it a fair comparison? Bobby's focus is narrow compared to Trump's. Valid point. But I'm doing it not based upon focus. I'm doing it upon promises made versus promises kept, percentages, and successes that they're having, timing. Those two things. You're right. Trump has a much larger charge, a much broader charge. 100%. I agree. And also it's a longer time frame. But he didn't say that. This is the issue. Trump said he's fixing everything tomorrow. I'm exaggerating, but that's how he talked. I was the first person last year to say that's not going to happen, right? It might still happen, but not on that timeline. There's no way it's going to happen. And I think it was an error for him to make that timeline. I think most people who are honest about Trump would say, even if you like Trump, he probably should not have given that timeline. The timeline was wrong, right? Whether you support Trump or not, the timeline was wrong, right? That's for sure. The timeline was wrong. And I think that's a piece. Bobby Kennedy Jr. did not give that timeline. In fact, people got upset. If you remember, you go back about a month or two ago, people were mad at Bobby. What's he doing? Why is he talking about Israel? Blah, blah, blah. Remember that? Now he posted the MAHA report like, well, whatever, right? Because he did not make that timeline. And that was an issue. That was challenging up front, but I think now it really has happened to where he's got a much better piece. Craig says, Secretary Robert F. Kennedy inspired me to eat healthier. I volunteered for his presidential campaign last year. If he picked Governor Jesse Ventura as running mate last year, I believe he would have won. Ventura didn't want him. Ventura fought him. Ventura has become an establishment Democrat. He's a disappointment. He is a disappointment. Yes. So it really is bad. It is bad. So yes. Phil says, Larry predicted almost exactly the number from the Siena poll. I did? I didn't know that. There we go. I did. Perfect. So, yeah, look, I know the state, Phil. I talk to people all the time. I chat with them all the time. I cover this state. I know what people are thinking of the state. I don't always talk about other states. I don't always know them. But I know the state very well. Very well. Yes. K. John says, some of my friends post the most vitriolic venom about RFK Jr. They would never vote for him and would lose their minds at the thought of him as president. Correct. And I'm sure they're Democrats. Democrats hate him. He is a traitor. He must be destroyed. Yes, I'm not making that up. You feel it, K. John. Yes, you feel it. So, all righty. IC says, I just finished making pickled onions and lacto-fermented onions. I'm working on my 3 quarts, different flavors of homemade sauerkraut. I actually have multiple flavors of sauerkraut too. I purchased them from a company called, I get one that is like a Whole Foods type. It's not them, but it's like that type of piece. And then a second one that comes from a farm or a group called Pickle something. I think something like that. I don't know. I always have 2 separate ones and I rotate them out. Like I actually have 4 different companies that I buy from. And I rotate 2 at a time. I just rotate them in and out because I always want to have different biomes. So I mix and match it to the best of my ability. So yes, different flavors, right? Cumin sometimes. Beets, that one too. And regular sauerkraut, cabbage. Kale sometimes. So I'll mix and match them. I'm with you on that. Yep. All righty. I have a programming note here. Thank you from my VA lady. Larry will be on the game show Are You Smarter Than a Politician? Hosted by Free this Friday at 8 p.m. That's true. I will be on tomorrow night at 7 p.m. on my regular show. And then Friday, I will not have a show. I will be on that show instead. It will be on X, the Freedom for Us All. And that is freedom, the number 4, us 4, the number 4 all on YouTube, Rumble, and X. You can check me out there. I'm going up against 2 of the people. One of them is Spike. No, not Spike Cohen. Not Spike Cohen. Who am I going up against? There's 2 other people. I forgot. I thought Spike, not Spike. Oh, it's Chase. Sorry, Chase Oliver. That's who it is. Chase Oliver. I knew it was a single syllable name. It was Chase Oliver and some other guy. I forgot who it is, but you can check it out on their X. You'll see. I will, of course, win because, of course. And if I lose, they cheated. So just so we're clear. If I win, it's fair. If I lose, they cheated. I'm just telling you that in advance so we know what's going to happen, right? So, again, if I lose, they cheated. If I win, it was fair. So we're cool. That little lady says, Chase Oliver and Matt Johnson. Thank you. That's what it is. Yes, those 2. There we go. All right, just so we're clear on that one. Yeah, there we go. So Laura says, what about apple cider vinegar? Straight, I have it, but I haven't started. I used to do, when I would fast, I would put apple cider vinegar, lemon, and water in a glass and drink it. It does not break a fast, and it helps your gut health. So I would do that. If I fast for a couple of days, which I do every once in a while, I will have that as like a flavored drink. Gives you some flavor, right? Some people like vinegar more, so you make more. I think apple cider vinegar for myself is very strong for me. My daughter doesn't mind it at all. She likes that hard vinegary taste. She loves it. I don't. It's too much for me. So I have less in it. Some people, you put as much as you want. So that's what I've done. It gives you some flavor when you're fasting and does not break your fast. So that's what I do. That's when I use it. Otherwise, I don't really use it much. I don't use it much. Kim says, I'm disappointed in Ventura. Me too. Me too. Yes. The Liberty Lady says, Larry knows more about New York than the past 5 governors combined. True. They know how to raise money from all of the heavy hitters in New York better than me. That they got down. Yes, that's true. Phil says, what do you think the purpose of RFK Jr. going to South America this past week, including Argentina and Peru? Does that mean presidential ambitions? I think it means raising his profile. That's what I'll say. Raising his profile. Remember I said, when it comes to leverage, there are 3 things, right? There's eyeballs. That's what he's getting now. Money and votes, right? This is the eyeballs piece. This is the eyeballs piece. As people see him and validate him and see him more, he gains more gravitas. It's a whole lot harder to get rid of him, to fire him, to stop him, right? The more buddies and friends he makes in the area with more other areas, the more powerful he becomes. So yes, this is raising his profile. Could it be for running for office? Sure. Or it could be for being a kingmaker. Now, I don't know if Bobby Kennedy Jr. wants to run again, if he wants to be a kingmaker, but either way, nothing but good. Nothing but good. Him doing that is a good thing. It raises his profile. It allows him to either run if he wants to, or helps him to be a kingmaker to move things forward. So yeah, that's a big piece of why he's doing it. I hope that makes sense. Guys, I have not told you in a while, so I want to if I could. Please click the button known as Lima India Kilo Echo. Click the button that's like. It is important. If you have not shared or reposted this, please do so. It is important. If you haven't followed me already on Sharpe Way, Facebook, X, and Rumble, please go do that. Rumble, if you can go over to Larry Sharpe Rumble, and I'm trying to get to 500 followers. It has been challenging to get past like 450. If you head over there and do that, it'd be great. Remember, you can always super chat me. Always works well. Or rant me on Rumble if you like. If you become a member, that's always good. Click that join button on YouTube. $49 per month. The more members I get, the less I have to work. That is amazing. Also, you can become a member on Rumble if you want to. $49 per month. Only click subscribe during the live. That is an important piece. You can do that if you want to. That would be amazing. Every subscriber does matter. Every membership does matter. So please do it if you want to. And no matter what, you can always click the button known as live. That Liberty Lady has the promo for the show. There we go. Right there. Click it on X if you want to. Check it out. You can see what's happening. I do appreciate that. If you guys want to check that out, it's a great thing to check out. I am trying to go on more people's shows when I can. I've been working a lot recently, though. A lot of work makes it harder for me to do this, and that's why I'm trying to get people to support the show. I may be getting a couple sponsors. People have been talking about sponsors. I may try to do that. We'll see if I can do that too. Maybe things will be a little bit easier. So we'll see what happens. Guys, as I said before, as you know, the algo loves, Mr. Rhythm loves, that if after this is over, you actually put in if you put a comment. I'm going to ask you, who do you think is doing better right now? Is it RFK? Is it Trump? Do you think Trump's going to do better? Do you will? Tell me what you think between Trump and RFK in the comments after this is done. And remember, if you're watching this and it's not live, a couple of videos are going to pop up. Please watch one of them right now, about 8 to 10 minutes. Algo loves that too. I'll be on tomorrow at 7. I will see you all very soon.